I've got a super beginner-friendly knitting pattern for you today. These cozy slippers are actually simple tube socks, knit flat on 2 straight needles and then easily seamed into a little tube. If you're intimidated by turning a heel or shaping toes, this is the perfect first sock for you. And there's still time to whip up a couple of these as last-minute gifts because they knit up quick with bulky weight yarn. Specifically, I used 𝓥𝓬𝓭𝓮 from 𝓤𝓪𝓽𝓬, which made these slippers so soft and added a little rustic touch. Best of all, I used only one skein to make both of these one-size-fits-most average adult size slippers. I also used 8mm US 11 needles. You can follow my gauge exactly, or use this sock technique in any weight yarn and needle size as long as you have the same absolute measurements for your piece. This sock works because we use a really stretchy and beginner-friendly stitch, the 1x1 rib, which is alternating knits and purls. This creates a fabric that stretches over your heel and hugs the curves of your feet without any additional shaping. For this tutorial, I'm actually going to start at the end, because I'm guessing many of you know how to cast on, knit, and purl, but if you need that part demonstrated, just hang tight, it's coming up. So when you've got your piece the right length, you'll cut a long tail, and we're going to thread a tapestry needle. Starting at the last stitch, thread the needle through every live stitch you've still got. And when everybody's threaded through, you can slip the stitches off the knitting needle and draw the toe closed, much like the top of a hat. And that takes care of your toe. Next, we're going to seam the edges together. To do this, you're going to poke the tapestry needle in the middle of this edge stitch. Pick up a couple of ladders like this, and thread it through. Come to the other side and do the same thing. Then back on the other side, poke into where you came out of before. Find the ladders and thread. Into where you came out of, ladders, thread. This is called the mattress stitch. And if the mattress stitch is a little too fiddly for some of you beginners, it's a little too fiddly for me sometimes, you could also do the whip stitch. The whip stitch is worked by just seaming around and around, and you can work into these little edge loops here. Both seams are perfectly suitable for this pattern. Continue seaming like this all the way up your sock. And when you reach the top, you can complete this missing stitch up here for a uniform edge by making one pass around each of the corner stitches. Then we'll weave in the ends. And snip them short. Now, if the total beginners are still with me, let's go over how to create this stretchy piece. We'll start with a long tail cast on and cast on 27 stitches. If you're altering the pattern, be sure to cast on an odd number of stitches. Then for row 1 of the 2-row repeat, we'll knit 1, and purl 1, repeat, knit 1, purl 1, all the way to the last stitch. And knit the last stitch. Row 2 is simply the reverse. We'll start with a purl 1, knit 1, repeat, purl 1, knit 1, to the last stitch, and purl that last stitch. Repeat rows 1 and 2 until your piece measures about 16.5 inches, or about 60 rows. Then you can follow the bind off and seaming instructions I mentioned earlier. There you have it! I hope you enjoyed this pattern. I'll have a blog post to go along with it linked down below. Let me know who you'll be making these cozy slippers for. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!